Nation Jackson Janet's greetings and welcome to the Daily Dose of Donkey with Ginger. It's your boy, the Viking Donkey, bringing you some Steelers talk. And it's a win. We got Gingy beating the Patriots with a lot of splash, Gingy. It doesn't matter if you're good. It matters if you win, right?
Mutant Gingy in the house. 2-1, baby. Dub's a dub. We're going to start it off that way. A dub is a dub. Gritted one out. Got a higher score than the other team. Always a beautiful thing, Donkey.
You know, having a nice couple calls go our way from the Zebras, a nice few mistakes go our way from the Patriots. Sometimes that's just what you need to win a football game on the road. Don't look it too hard. Don't break it down too much. It's still early season. We're still learning who we are. Sure, there's a lot of reasons for concern. But Gingy, 2-1, with the only other team at 2-1 in our division being the Bengals, who don't have their quarterback, kind of puts us in a really nice spot, right?
I mean, got to take it a week at a time, Donkey. Yes, nice spot in the AFC at week 3. The Ravens have had a tough schedule. They're coming again with another difficult game this week, I believe, against Kansas City. That should be interesting. They have a chance to go 1-3. My goodness!
Well, one of those two teams is going to be 1-3 unless they tie. Then they'll both be 1-2-1.
Yeah, but back to the Steelers. That we got lucky, Donkey. We put together just enough plays, just enough big plays. There were big plays. I saw a real nice ball. I saw turnovers being one, but I saw a real nice ball from Aaron Rodgers to DK Metcalf. Same with Calvin Austin at the end of the game, right? But there were many more mistakes littered in there on the offense. And my goodness, the defense it was the pure epitome of bend but don't break. There was so much bending that I almost seen them turn into a circle.
There was a bit of breaking too, but we'll let that go. It was a lot better than the prior 2 weeks. Gingy, maybe my biggest cause for concern is Aaron Rodgers threw an interception this week on a play that he threw the same exact pass last week, but got lucky and only hit the guy in the face. Dude, it's just a basic Tampa 2 drop back from what I see. The linebackers all drop back, the two safeties are over the top, and Aaron Rodgers is just not reading the drop back of the right side. What would that be? That's the strong side. Strong side backer drops back, and he's just throwing it right to the guy. That's 2 weeks in a row. That's my biggest cause of concern from this game. We can talk about the defense bleeding like it does, but that play right there has to be fixed.
Yeah, there were too many. I saw highlights, Donkey. But then, I mean, first quarter I thought looked great, right? First quarter looked like this. We were cruising to a blowout. And then what happens? The offense for the next 2.5 quarters is how many 3-and-outs did I see in a row? From between the second quarter and third quarter, I think there were like 4 3-and-outs in a row, weren't there?
And you base a team off of, and this is what the Steelers are, man. They're a quick pass running team. And when your quick passes average less than 4 yards of completion and your runs average less than 4 yards of carry, it's just not going to look good. What happened was you saw the fluke drive, which was the early drive, right? You saw the fluke happen at the beginning, and then there's a whole lot of nothing. I mean, this team, Gingy, is no different than the team's been since 2020. The only difference is in 2020, we had a capable quarterback in Ben Roethlisberger. This year, we have a capable quarterback in Aaron Rodgers. The years in between, we didn't have capable quarterbacks. So the points are looking better, but the offense has not changed at all. And that's under 4 different offensive coordinators. I really think this is just how Mike Tomlin wants to run things. I'm going to be quite honest with you.
203 total yards, Donkey.
This is what Mike Tomlin wants, man. He's talked about it before. He wants to play those gritty games that he wins somewhere with his team scoring between 14 and 21 points and the other team scoring between 10 and 17. That's what he likes. That's the style of football he wants. And I think we have enough anecdotal evidence now to say that's just the way it's going to be.
That's not going to work versus the Ravens, Donkey.
It doesn't work in the playoffs. It doesn't. It does not win you playoff games. But that's not here or there. Let's break this game down, Gingy. Do you want to start on the offense or the defense here to break down what we saw?
I don't know. I think my key points are going to be in the defense today. So let's get through the offense. It was bland, Donkey.
No trickery, no motion, no wide receivers going over the middle. I don't know how many games you watch a week, but I tend to watch about 10 because when the Steelers aren't on, I have the 4 games on. Always get Sunday night, always get Monday night. Try to flick in and out of a couple other just on the all 22 replays for teams we're about to play or teams, like the next 2 opponents we're going to play, just to see how they do.
Mm-hmm.
The Steelers are afraid of the middle of the field, which is where most big plays are made now. In the NFL, yeah, throws down the sideline, but those are more luck-based, and consistent offenses tend to attack the middle of the field. The Steelers are an inconsistent offense because they don't use the middle of the field. Their receiving tight ends aren't really doing anything. DK Metcalf looks good, but he doesn't look like a big upgrade from George Pickens at this point. And he needs to be for this team to be better because Calvin Austin, yeah, he's fast. We haven't seen anything from Roman Wilson. Skowronek has not seen the field since the first week when he caught a touchdown. Scotty Miller doesn't ever get a play. We run. I think Connor Hayward has more snaps than any wide receiver outside of our top 2, which is ridiculous, which is asinine, which is part of the problem. This offensive line cannot generate anything in terms of run blocking, and it happened again. But there is a bright point, Gingy, and I want to say it. Jaylen Warren looks explosive. That could be the key.
He does look like a one-back.
He's a little injured, a little banged up, which was what my fear was, is that he's too small for all the carries we're about to give him. But Gingy, the one thing I want to say about this offense, while Aaron Rodgers is having trouble reading that basic Tampa 2 thing, he still has a good arm, still makes good throws. DK Metcalf, let's hope he cools down a little bit into this offense and starts becoming more and more there. Let's hope Calvin Austin becomes a guy who we see a big play from every game, a 30-plus yard reception every game. There are the signs here, things coming together. We need to see more out of Jonnu Smith. We need to see more out of Pat Freiermuth. No excuses there. Those 2 guys are getting paid. Those 2 guys need to show up. But the glimmer I really want to point out on this offense, Gingy, it did put up limited points, but it did make some big plays. And while Jaylen Warren's running stats don't look that great, he is making big splash plays that have been the difference for the Pittsburgh Steelers in their couple of wins. I really like what I'm seeing from him early in the season.
Yeah, Donkey, I agree with you. I'd like to make a couple points about that offense as well. You mentioned tight ends a lot, Donkey. I can't necessarily blame those guys if they ain't getting looks. They are not getting looks, Donkey. Who would have thought?
A 50-yard reception 2 weeks ago. He makes me mad.
Yeah, okay. 2 weeks ago. Thank you, Donkey. Thanks for clarifying that. We're looking at an Arthur Smith offense that we talked about all season. I think we got 5 tight ends on the roster. How can we not throw to one of them? We brought in Jonnu Smith. We thought what is this Arthur Smith offense? Who would have thought that we weren't going to be able to use the tight ends? Number two, Donkey. This is almost hammer time, Donkey. You cannot succeed in this league without a functional left tackle. If I see Broderick Jones in Aaron Rodgers' lap,
he had his best game of the year.
Yeah, that's great. How many times did he end up in his lap still?
I didn't say it was good.
Donkey,
I did not.
This is not passable. This is not passable. I'm almost considering wanting Dan Moore Jr., and that's how I know we have a problem. Okay?
And Gingy, to be fair, I think Jonnu Smith leads this team in receptions. He just doesn't ever catch the ball for more than 3 yards.
Well, I think that we need to see some more inclusion of them over the middle, right? You mentioned over the middle. That's the advantage that you can get with a big tight end, a big body, right? Mm-hmm. I understand if we I know how you feel about Freiermuth. At least let him get 6 or 7 touches, and if he drops 4 of them, then we know. Right? But I need to see him get some consistent play over the middle. It will open up everything else. If we're even a threat over the middle, teams don't even need to consider that with us, right?
Because they know it's a void you don't have to cover. You're 100% right there.
Yeah, you just don't have to cover it because it's not going to be used, right? And this is really limiting us. This is letting those, you can't get away with a 2B type of wide receiver like Calvin Austin when you're really limiting the options in the playbook. Both sides of the ball just really bland, Donkey. I haven't gone down this road before, but we're getting out coached, Donkey.
Oh, without a doubt, dude. I think this is back-to-back weeks. And this is the most telling. Mike Tomlin was asked about all the long third and fourth down conversions done against the Steelers. And I believe his quote exactly was, "Hey, they came out there and they're just really well coached." Isn't that just him saying, "Yo, I don't know what the hell I'm doing and they exploited me"? Isn't that what he's saying when he says that shit? Stuff. Pardon the French. Wow. Genji?
I hope not, Donkey, but it kind of seems like that.
It does. My final thought on the offense, Gingy, 21 points, but man, no yards, no movement, no anything. Not the type of performance you want to see. We're now 3 weeks in. Our running backs are averaging under 3.5 yards a carry, and that's even with garbage yardage thrown in there. We don't have a wide receiver that's caught the ball for over 50 yards a game. It's just, I don't know how to functionally say this other than it's been bad on all fronts. Even Aaron Rodgers, some bad turnovers and not really anything there. But you're 2-1 while the unit that definitely has the most to get cohesive with because there's the most new players in new places. I don't know if I feel terrible about where we are, but I definitely don't feel good, if that makes sense.
Well, Donkey, for me, the real problem is I think that our playmakers could make plays if they were given any opportunity to do so. Up front, Aaron Rodgers, while we did finally hold off the sack chart, I believe, right? Maybe? No?
It seemed right. It was either one or none.
Much better than first 2 weeks, still getting pressured constantly, still getting knocked down, still people around him buzzing. I know Aaron Rodgers is feeling that pressure. When he's given time, he throws good balls, and when he isn't, it doesn't look as good, Donkey. Those guys up front, that is the issue with both the run and the pass. They're getting no push up front. Right side gets a little push. Right side gets a little push.
Well, it all starts in the middle, man. The Steelers were always a good run team because the Steelers always had a Hall of Fame caliber center. I'm not a hater on Zach Frazier here. I know a lot of people love him. But, man, put on the tape and just watch Zach Frazier get blown the hell up in the middle. And then watch either Zach Frazier and Mason McCormick or Zach Frazier and Isaac Seumalo try to double team someone and get pushed backwards on a double team. That stuff can't happen in the NFL, man. These guys are getting paid, and if they can't win with a double-team block, Gingy, I don't know if they deserve to be on the field. That's just my personal view on that. Those guys, we want to talk about the tackle sucking, and that's fair. But it's not the tackle sucking that's killing this running game. It's the interior three getting no frickin' push, Gingy. None.
Even on the QB pressures, though, Donkey, let's coach around these problems then. If our line is really that bad, let's start releasing tight ends and throwing chips, right? That's what teams do to us. That's how they counter TJ Watt. TJ Watt getting chipped just about every play, if you check on that. It's pretty much like clockwork. Why don't we use that against other teams?
Because we run our game plan. No matter who the opponent is, no matter what they're trying to do, we run what we want to do, and we'll be successful if we're successful at it. That's a legit Mike Tomlin quote from the end of last year. So I'll give you the answer because that's straight from the.
No, it's not. It's okay. Even if the standard is the standard, they're not executing.
Fair. I don't disagree. Like I said,
if you're going to stick to that game plan, you're going to have to execute like a Bill Belichick freaking clockwork team, and they sure ain't.
Dude, I don't know if you've noticed, but you need a Tom Brady to run that system.
I mean,
look at that dude's record without Tom Brady in his whole career. I'm just putting it out there. You need a GOAT in order to run a system that isn't a system that is designed to beat people, right?
We got an old GOAT at quarterback, that's for sure.
We have one of the best arm talents to ever play, one of the best touchdown passers, that's for sure. What I want to see is Aaron Rodgers become a cerebral assassin, which is something that really isn't what he did through his career. He put up crazy numbers. He did crazy things. He is the master of the damn Hail Mary. But man, I want that cerebral assassin in there. That guy who's just going to, you need a yard and a half. He gets you a yard and 3/4, right? We need that version of an Aaron Rodgers. And it is possible. It is in there. The dude's won a Super Bowl. The dude has the talent to do it. Let's move on now. Let's get to the defense.
Mm-hmm.
There were a lot of turnovers. There were a lot of turnovers. There were a lot of sacks. And then there was a lot of missed tackles, open wide receivers, and bad things in between. Talk about a hodgepodge of did we do good, did we do bad, Gingy. Break down your view on how the defense played against New England.
Defense came up when they needed to. Donkey, you know how I feel about the splash plays. Had Herbig in there disrupting people. Had T.J. Watt in there disrupting people. Cam Hayward throwing his big paw up there, knocking balls around, getting
Brandon Echols holding onto the ball when he needs to in the end zone.
Yep. Absolutely. Awesome splash plays, Donkey. But let me tell you this. A couple different things that shows the amount of disrespect, Donkey. 17-play drive, right down our throat, 7.5 minutes, and they let us off the hook. Caused a turnover right at the end, Donkey. Donkey, this team, Mike Vrabel, is so confident that the Steelers' defense is booty.
This is Mike Vrabel, who, when he was with Tennessee, was that coach that didn't go for it, remember? That's not what he did.
He goes for fourth down on 15-yard line or something absurd like that, Donkey. Because he's like, there's no way that they're going to do that. There's no way they're going to stop me. And guess what? We didn't. Time after time. 4 for 5 on fourth down. They really showed us right there that we have no respect for your ability to stop us at any given time.
I hear you. I would argue, Gingy, the only time the Steelers stopped the Patriots was the Cam Hayward deflection to Brandon Echols. I feel that's the only time the Steelers made the plays. The other time was Ramondre Stevenson just being loose with the ball at the goal line. Ramondre Stevenson just being loose with the ball in the middle. The backup running back who got benched because he fumbled one after Stevenson fumbled two. It wasn't like the Steelers were making crazy plays on this or hitting the football.
The Herbig play was awesome. Herbig play hitting May was awesome, though.
Yeah, these running backs just didn't hold on to the football for the Patriots. And let's be honest, the game-winning play, the 4th and 2, that idiot has a first down if he just catches the ball and goes backwards.
He leans forward. He hits his fall forward.
He has the first down, but instead he runs away from the sticks and gives us a first down. Like, I have said this for so long, Gingy. The Steelers do not play to win football games. They play for you to lose them. And the New England Patriots played right into that hand. I mean, there was nice things to see. T.J. Watt getting on the sack list. Thank goodness gracious. Cam Hayward came up with a pretty good game. Derek Harmon gets his first half sack of his NFL career. And he looked pretty well in limited snaps. I think he played about 55% of the time. There are good things there. But, Gingy, if I see another tight end on 3rd and 12 run a 15-yard route and be wide open right behind Patrick Queen again, I'm going to lose my shit on Patrick Queen. And you've already seen me do that before. I'm trying to give this dude a chance, but he is the worst coverage linebacker I have seen. And I'm going to put it this way. I think Vince Williams covers better than Patrick Queen, okay? That's how bad I think he is in coverage. And he doesn't make up for it on the run stuffing. Yeah, he makes a couple plays. Yeah, he can run sideline to sideline. No doubt about that. But he's out of position so often. This dude's getting paid like he's a top 3 middle linebacker in football. And his stats show he's a bottom 20. Like, my God, man.
I feel
paying him the money isn't looking good. At least Cole Holcomb looked okay in limited snaps. Maybe there's a bright side there going forward. They looked a little better as a tandem. But Gingy, this front seven in terms of stopping the run and stopping the pass on 3rd and long is driving me bananas because the pass rush isn't getting home often enough and the linebackers just can't cover.
We do this so often with players on defense. We have good players and we don't play to their skill set. It comes back to staying within a certain system. right? If we were able to coach to the strengths of these players, Patrick Queen definitely is a serviceable middle linebacker in the NFL. I don't think he was worth the money that we paid him.
Starter capable of being paid like he's elite. Yep, fair enough.
Let's see him play to his strengths. Let's see him sled downhill a couple times. When I'm talking about sending 5 guys, why don't you send him? He can't cover anyway. Why don't you let him fly at the quarterback twice a game and see if he can't make something happen?
That's about the only thing he was good at in Baltimore was he could run sideline to sideline, and he's a pretty decent blitzing linebacker, yes. I said that when we got him, we need to use him that way. And I believe me and you, when I talked about signing him in the offseason, is, hey, maybe this is a bring back to the double A-gap blitz the Steelers used to be good at, but Jesus, was I wrong.
No, I never see him fly at the quarterback. One of these times, I know he's not Troy Polamalu, but why don't we let's see Juan Thornhill fly at the quarterback?
Let's just see Juan Thornhill on the bench.
It'd just be nice, Donkey. We did get a dub after all. If this was an L, this is a completely different conversation.
To be fair here, Gingy, Deshaun Elliott's back this week. Jabril Peppers is clearly the best of the other 3. I don't want to see those other 2 on the field for the rest of the year. I want to see Jabril Peppers and Deshaun Elliott.
That'll be a sledding team right there.
Just right there, man. You have a guy who's good in coverage in Elliott, and you got a guy who can tackle in Peppers. That's a good combination, man.
I agree. I wouldn't mind that.
So it wasn't. It sounded really bad to Warren Thornhill, and it kind of was meant to. But there's an ulterior motive to what I said.
Again, on a dub or on an L, I might speak that way. But on a dub, these guys are going to get some leniency this week because a dub's a dub. Donkey, you're right. It doesn't make you a super elite football team.
Let's go.
But you're going away for 2-1, and you live to fight another day. Donkey,
sometimes it is just about survival. Sometimes you just have to be that team survives and gets a little luck. We've seen it happen before. We've seen teams catch fire at the right time. I'm looking at you, Eli Manning, because both of your Super Bowls, that's exactly what I'm talking about. An average team that catches fire at the right time. Possible. You just got to be that team, and you got to catch fire. So keep stacking them. Keep rolling them.
Seen the Steelers do it before. 05.
That's fair to say, but we had a pretty damn good defense that year.
It was better in 08, 09.
Yes, that was like game-changing defense. That was like
they changed all the rules because of that defense.
That was like the 02 Tampa defense, right? That defense won you football games. Those are the 2 teams that really come. Them and that one Baltimore team. The Baltimore team, our Pittsburgh team, and that Tampa team are the 3 teams where I remember, damn, I think the defenses win these games, you know?
Yeah, you know that it's legendary when they change the rules around it. They got the rules changed for Brady, they got the rules changed for Manning, and that 08-09 defense got the rules changed as well.
Yeah, fair to say. Any last thoughts here on the Patriots game? I mean, it really comes down to the Steelers' offense did enough, the defense caused splash, and the Patriots gave it away.
Yep, I'm satisfied with that, Donkey. On to Dublin.
Any NFL stories you want to talk about, Gingy? Like maybe the block kick epidemic that happened this week?
Cleveland overcoming what everyone thought was already the crowned Super Bowl champs.
Yep.
In the Green Bay Packers.
Block field goal set that one up. Yep. The Eagles block a field goal and return it for a touchdown to make sure they secure their win. The Jets block a field goal against Tampa Bay, start celebrating their asses off, and then Baker Mayfield leads Tampa Bay down to get another win, where Baker Mayfield, by the way, Gingy, 3 fourth-quarter game-winning drives in the last 5 minutes already this season. That dude's on fire down there. Thank you, Cleveland, for letting him go.
What a stud.
Oh, man, the blocked field goals galore going on. You got the Baltimore Ravens falling to 1 and 2. This was a weird week, man. I mean, Derrick Henry already has 3 fumbles on the season. Like, all just sorts of crazy stats coming on. We got Russell Wilson getting benched already, which sucks for us because now we probably don't get a compensatory pick for losing him. But Jackson Dart now the man in New York because their offense couldn't move the ball. We got the Atlanta Falcons taking a huge step back. We got the New Orleans Saints looking like the worst football team I've ever seen. there's all sorts of fun stories. Who else do we got going on out there having fun stuff? I don't know if you watched the Thursday night game, but that was a pretty good back and forth affair between Seattle and Arizona. It was a kind of a fun game. But any of those stories catch your mind, Ginger? Anything you really want to talk about from any of them?
Too early, donkey. I'll catch me at week 6 with power rankings.
And yeah, that's a fair place to go to it. So we're moving on.
I don't know. I mean, I still take a look in the division. The Cincinnati, like I figure, is going to Cincinnati's in shambles without Joey B. Pretty much looks like so far.
They were in shambles with him. To be fair, not really.
Yeah,
but that team did not look
very
good.
He kept it alive. Cleveland is Cleveland. They're a wild card. They came up with a big dub, and the Baltimore Lions game was pretty darn good too. But Baltimore's just coming up on the wrong end of these close games with good teams.
A lot of back and forth in that game, and just plays not being made by the Ravens, but being made by Detroit is what I saw from that. You got to see some life from some teams that were considered dead, like Chicago. It was actually a really fun week to watch of football games. There's a lot of excitement, a lot of blocked kicks leading to stuff. I'm not gonna lie, man. Those games, there's a lot of edge on your seat games this week, and then it was either tight edge of your seat or my God, they're getting blown out.
Mm-hmm.
But Gingy, one thing I want to point out: the Baltimore Ravens struggling this year with the running part of the defense. I've said this before. To run the 3-4, you have to have a big dude who can clog the middle. Isn't it funny that Pierce retires, their 360 middle guy, and now all of a sudden they can't stop the run? It's almost like you need a huge dude in the middle if you run a 3-4.
Huh. Who would have thunk?
Yeah, I don't know. I haven't been yelling about that for... When the hell did Casey Hampton retire?
Oh, goodness.
Yeah.
A long time ago, donkey.
Then. All right, do you want to go ahead and take a trip overseas, Gingy? Put on our Dublin caps. This is Ireland. This is the Roonies' home.
Woo!
Right?
Woo! Right? Yeah.
So this should be Pittsburgh, Minnesota. This should be the Irish holding off the Viking invaders, which I'm allowed to say that. We're the home team, so we're allowed to claim this as ours for now.
Oh, but anyway, a home game? Dang.
Yeah, it's a home game.
Yeah, I suppose so, but that's a tough loss.
The Steelers all-time 9-10 against the Vikings. At home, we're 6-4. On the road, we're 3-6. Although none of that matters because we're playing overseas. The biggest win, Minnesota, 38-point win in 1969, 52-14. Steelers' biggest win, 17 points in 2017. That's 26-9. The longest streak, both teams had a 3-game win streak. Minnesota from 1964 to 69, and the Steelers from 2001 to 2009. The current streak is Minnesota on a 1-game win streak. That, of course, would have been December 9th of 2021, a 36-28 Minnesota Viking win at home in the Dome against the Steelers. Throw everything out. Throw out the bathwater. There's a lot of players coming back for the Steelers. There's a lot of players missing this game for Minnesota. But, Gingy, I'm going to be honest here. I really wanted to see frickin' J.J. McCarthy and not Carson Wentz in this game. Doesn't really change my confidence level. But, man, I think J.J. McCarthy is the kind of quarterback the Steelers would have taken advantage of immensely. I think Carson Wentz, they still have a good chance of it because he struggles against zones. But we don't do anything exotic, so I'm not as sure. Do you think Carson Wentz is a plus based off of just last week what he did with them against Cincinnati? Do you think he's a plus for Minnesota, or do you think it would have been better with J.J. McCarthy for Minnesota? Like, which one would you have been more scared of?
More scared of Carson Wentz. I think this game would have went better for us with McCarthy.
Agreed. Gingy, do you know much about this Minnesota team?
Not too much other than they're running a backup.
Yeah, they were second place in the NFC last year, but didn't win their division. Kind of crappy spot to be. They're going to be without a few good players this one, as the guy I talked to you about him last year, Van Ginkel. I thought he had a really decent case to be Defensive Player of the Year if you were going to give it to a pass rusher, which, of course, it didn't go to one. But I liked Van Ginkel. He's not going to play in this game. That's a huge, huge asset for the Steelers. So when you look at it, the Vikings are going to be without their number 2 wide receiver, Jordan Addison, still serving that suspension. They're going to be without their best pass rusher, Van Ginkel. They're going to be without their quarterback in J.J. McCarthy. The Steelers are getting healthy. We're getting back to Sean Elliott. Joey Porter Jr. is allegedly close to coming back. Highsmith is still going to be out, but Derek Harmon's now played a game. The Steelers are starting to get healthy. The Vikings are getting hurt. This is a long travel day. Advantage should be the Pittsburgh Steelers just based off of personnel, right? Steelers healthy, Vikings not. From the get-go, the Steelers should have a base advantage in terms of personnel. Do you feel that way, or do you feel that's all just kind of moot point?
Hit or miss when you're traveling overseas. When's the last time the Steelers been overseas to play a game? Do we know?
That's a good question. I'll look that up real quick on the Google machine while I get into what do you want to talk about, the offense or the defense first, Gingy, when we talk about this game.
Let's talk about how we're going to put points on the board. Donkey.
Points on the board. Okay. The Minnesota Vikings, they were suspect to some big plays last year, but they're really a solid core thing. So when you talk big plays, that means we're looking at the likes of Calvin Austin, Jaylen Warren, DK Metcalf, breaking something out. But normally what would happen for the big plays is you have to get time. That means the offensive line has to, or maybe the Steelers max protect and try to take advantage of something on the outside, Gingy. But I'm not sure how I feel about that. I don't know. Who are you really looking for going into having a big game this time?
It's got to be Jaylen Warren. It's got to be happening up front, looking to continue to see him expand, looking to see him break one, right? Make the defense respect him.
Our last overseas game was against the Minnesota Vikings in 2013. I have an answer.
How about that? That's pretty dang interesting, huh?
That is. That's a nice little point for the week. Thank you, Google, for that. And if the fact is wrong, y'all yell at Google because I'm just reading you what it told me. But yeah.
Looking to see Jaylen Warren, looking to see being able to protect up front Aaron Rodgers a little bit better. Donkey. Looking to establish consistency. We don't need flash and glamour here.
So you have no concerns about Jaylen Warren being in a knee brace and being limited in practice early in the week?
Of course I do, Donkey. Next man up, right? Gainwell hasn't played halfway bad lately. I don't think he's the guy, per se, Donkey, like every down back, but, he's not playing bad.
That's a fair way to look at it. I mean, when you look at what the Steelers have to do, Minnesota being without Van Ginkel, of course, is going to be a huge plus for the Steelers, taking out that best pass rusher out there for Minnesota. But that doesn't mean there aren't guys who can play, right? Like Javon Hargraves over there. Allen still plays pretty good, getting out there, getting after the people. Mm-hmm. So it's not like Jonathan Grenard, it's not like there still isn't playmakers for Minnesota. Can those playmakers make up for the absence of their TJ Watt, essentially? And maybe that's what the turning point is. Maybe it's just a mental thing of, sometimes it could get in your head, man, we're without our best person, you don't give your A-plus effort, and then all of a sudden the ability is there for the time, the ability there for Aaron Rodgers to actually look deep, and instead of DK Metcalf running his average route depth at 5 yards per route, maybe his average route depth's 18 yards down the field, and maybe we connect once or twice. And that's the difference in the game. You think we're complete opposite on it here. You want to see that slow grind work. I think they need those big splash plays.
I don't know if Aaron Rodgers has the time to do it.
That's a fair way to look at it. I'm not going to disagree with you. I mean, this is a team that's 10th in the NFL in sacks.
To pull off a splash play, he's going to need 4 seconds. I don't see him getting 4 seconds quite so often.
That's fair. I mean, there's a lot of sacks to go around to a lot of people on this Minnesota team. I personally think without Van Ginkel, this is the game. And maybe it's Maybe it's a 6-7 man protection. That's something I want to see because I haven't seen it yet. Is the Steelers use a 6-7 man protection to try to get DK Metcalf down the field? I've seen them try to do it with Calvin Austin, but that's not what I want, man. I want DK Metcalf to even where if there's a double coverage, Aaron Rodgers will feel safe throwing that ball up there because his man's just big and is going to dunk on someone. Excuse me, it's not dunk on someone anymore. It's getting mossed, right? That's what it's called now in football. You just get mossed when someone just goes up and grabs it off your helmet.
That's right.
All right, fair enough. I think that has to happen. I think the Steelers have to find a way because we have seen these defenses now start to step up more and more. And Gingy, when the defense starts pressing the line of scrimmage, what do you do?
Pressing the line?
When they crunch the line of scrimmage.
You got to throw a slant. You got to hit the
middle. Just attack vertically, man. Attack vertically. It can be a slant now. I don't care. You need to attack them vertically. We need to see that. We need to see that hopefully get opened up by some early use in the middle of the field. Let's get things going. Let's make this game an explosive game. And let's not hope, and let's hope this doesn't have to be Jaylen Warren being Superman.
Let's hope, Donkey. I like
now,
your
Gingy,
ideas.
We get to the defensive side of the ball. To me, this is no excuse time. I'm not going to lie. The fact that we were able to, in the middle of the season, sign a guy like Jabril Peppers is amazing. He's a good downhill linebacker. Yeah, he actually is a good downhill linebacker. That's what he is as a safety. Elliott's coming back. Joey Porter Jr. should be back this week. Brandon Eccles has looked good in limited time. Jalen Ramsey, Darius Slay. I think Slay has a little injury he's dealing with, but should be playing. This team is going to have its full repertoire. We need to stop seeing these damn vanilla zones. We need to start seeing this press coverage that's going to give this pass rush that extra half a second to get home. We saw them get home because, oh my God, what the hell is that kid's name? The New England quarterback held the ball, Drake May, held the ball too long, and we saw them get home. We need to not have the held ball too long, and we need to get home. Carson Wentz is going to be smart about it. There are some weapons for Wentz, but I think if the Steelers play aggressive football this week, they can really stick it to the Vikings and what they've done. Because the Vikings are a one-back team, and that guy hasn't been overly great. That's Jordan Mason. I mean, he is averaging about 5 yards a carry. But they haven't ran him that much. Aaron Jones hasn't been that great in terms of running the ball. Has been okay receiving the ball. Carson Wentz, we know what he is. We've seen what he's done in a lot. But sometimes these longtime starters that become backups for a couple of years can come back and have great seasons. Wouldn't be the first time it's ever done. Baker Mayfield turned it around. Geno Smith turned it around. So you can't overlook Wentz. The talent's definitely there. But he's a guy who's shown the ability to make mistakes when you get to him, when you're able to disguise things. He has a lot of trouble reading deep safety zones. There's a lot of ways to really, the book's out there how to get after him. But what scares me is the Steelers, even when they were trying to stop Butte, and Mike Tomlin said that was their focus, was to stop Butte, he still was pretty effective against us. He's not at the talent of Justin Jefferson. And he doesn't have the supporting cast of a TJ Hawkinson. There is a really good chance if the Steelers play the way they played the first 3 weeks that we are going to get exposed in the passing game, Jim.
Let's hope that some of them guys coming back from injury puts it together as a full unit, Donkey. But don't get it twisted, Donkey. I'm just asking for one thing this week. All right, we're going to take baby steps in the right direction.
6 turnovers. Well, that's a baby step in the right direction. We had 5 last week.
We're always going to need to splash, Donkey. That's an essential part of this team at this point. Hate it or love it or hate it. But what we need this week is to be able to get off the field on third down. Just sometimes.
Fair.
Just sometimes. I mean, this is the recipe that wears. This defense, I think last year or the year before, appeared to start off much better. But this is the recipe for how they get bad by beginning in November. They just put too many minutes and get worn down. The New England Patriots ran way too many offensive plays last game. So we, bringing it back to this game, need to make sure that we limit the number of plays and do not leave our defense exposed for 45 minutes a game.
That's fair. That will come up to us beating the offensive line here. And you look at the Vikings, they have Will Fries, who him leaving Indianapolis made me so sad because now French fries don't play next to each other. But Will Fries is a really good player. Christian Darrisaw, really good tackle out there. Brian O'Neill, hail to Pitt, really good tackle out there. Ryan Kelly, really good center in terms of moving things. They have a pretty solid offensive line there in Minnesota. That's why they've been able to be successful last year with Sam Darnold, early this year, J.J. McCarthy and Carson Wentz. That offensive line unit there is solid. The Steelers have spent so much money on the front seven. This is the time they need to show we are the elite front group. This is the time we need to see early round draft picks come up and play good, right? Keanu Benton, I'm looking at you. You need to step your game up. We need to see another step forward from Derek Harmon, maybe playing 70% of the snaps this time and playing as effective as he did his first week. Cam Hayward needs to keep earning that money. TJ Watt needs to start being explosive on those sacks, not just the comeback coverage sacks. We need to see Nick Herbig get it going out there. And maybe, just maybe, whether it's Cole Holcomb, whether it's Patrick Queen, whether it's Peyton Wilson, who, by the way, has been successful blitzing up the middle the first 2 weeks. He had a couple pressures and a sack, I believe. Mm-hmm. This front seven needs to win, not only on passing downs, but they need to learn to stop the damn run, man. We need to hold this team under 3.5 yards a carry, because if we let Minnesota, who is a great play action team, Carson Wentz, who's been a great play action quarterback in his career, if we let them get that run game early, it could be a long day. This is the game the front seven needs to dominate, and I think you'll see good things for the Steelers.
I agree, Donkey. That's my take on defense as well. Can't let them get a rhythm.
And as we like to say, Mike Tomlin doesn't like to win football games, so that means there's going to be a lot of pressure on 3 specific guys. Chris Kunitz, don't miss a snap, okay? Can't be doing that. Chris Boswell good. We need Boswell good. Probably going to be the difference in the game if it comes down to Boswell being good, right?
Boswell's good.
Yeah. And then, I mean, Minnesota's, their kicking game's okay. They're nothing special to write about out there. Ricard, Ryan Wright, good players, not great players, nothing that's going to change the game. But Gingy, maybe perhaps this is the game that we get to see a left foot dominate the game, change field position, the defense do what it's supposed to do and hold the other team. A field position game that the most important person is Corliss Waitman. He's having a good season. He punted well for us last year after getting brought in. Maybe this is the game. He makes a difference and Steeler fans start to love him. That's what I'd like to see.
Let's go, Donkey.
Now, Gingy, anything you want to talk about before we get into the quick hitting cash or trash and then our predictions for the week?
Quick hitting.
All right, let's go. Offense, defense.
Let's start defense this time.
All right. Gingy, 5 turnovers is amazing. This week, the Steelers are lackluster. 3 or more turnovers. Cash or trash?
Oh, cash. 3 or more. Give me 3.
3 or more. Let's go. All right, let's go on to number 2 here. Running game has been terrible for the Steelers in terms of stopping. But this week, Mason gets held way below his season average. Aaron Jones does not break out. And Carson Wentz is held into the pocket. For the Vikings, averaging under 3.5 yards per carry. Cash or trash?
Trash, Donkey. That's a lovely thought, but I don't think they're there yet.
Fair enough. We then need to talk about the ability to stop the players' attack in the secondary. That means Hawkinson, Justin Jefferson need to be held below 150 yards combined receiving. Cash or trash?
Cash it in on that.
All right. I like that. The Steelers defense shows up for work this week. They hold the Minnesota Vikings under 350 yards of total offense. Cash or trash?
Cash, yes. Finally, let's go.
And we talked about needing pressure, needing the ability. That means we need some sacks. The Steelers get 3 or more sacks against the Minnesota Vikings.
Yes, they do. Cash that in. That's going to be the difference, Donkey.
I like to see that. I do. All right, let's flip it over. Let's talk offense here. Gingy, offensively, Aaron Rodgers over 300 yards, cash or trash?
Oh, three. No, I don't think he's got 300 yards passing. Trash.
I gave this to you last week. It didn't happen. The Steelers have a wide receiver and or tight end and or running back break 100 yards receiving, cash or trash?
Trash. But if I can put them all together, they'll break 100.
Okay.
If you
God,
put a
I
wide
hope
receiver,
you're right. I
with
hope we have more than 100 yards receiving.
between a tight end, a wide receiver, and a running back combined, we will have more than 100 yards.
God, I hope you. I don't think that would have been true if you could only take one from each group last week. That's sad.
That's why I said it, because it's better.
That's funny. All right. Fact number 3: Jaylen Warren breaks 100 yards rushing, cash or trash?
Oh, he gets darn close though. Jaylen Warren's going to break 100 yards, but we're going to see another outburst in the passing game, short passing game from him.
The Steelers get back to what seems to be winning football for them, Gingy. Clean sheet, no turnovers, cash or trash?
Cash that in. That's the recipe right now. Gotta let them lose. We can't give it to them if that's how we're going to play.
Gingy, the last one for you. The Steelers have been one of the best football teams in terms of red zone touchdown percentage. That continues over 50% of the trips to the red zone and with 6 points. Cash or trash?
Cash it.
All right, I like to hear that. Gingy,
I like it.
it's that time. We'll start with the offense. What do you see happening against the Vikings on offense?
I'm looking forward to seeing more consistency on offense. Jaylen Warren being able to put together both running and passing plays, more consistent use from the tight ends, maybe some ability to pick up some third downs, put together some drives, and a clean sheet. Like you said, clean sheet.
That's what I like. I personally think this is the time the Pittsburgh Steelers on offense establish a run game for the first time. I think the injury to Van Ginkel is going to play a little bit in what Minnesota likes to do. I think Brian Flores is going to try to get really tricky with it, a.k.a. Brian Flores, who should be the Steelers defense coordinator. I think
Really
he's going to
should be.
overthink things. I think he's going to try a little too hard to let Mike Tomlin know he made a mistake. And I think little Jaylen Warren's going to have a little slippy couple trick toss plays, a little double reverse. And I think you're going to see some big plays out of Jaylen Warren and a couple big catches from DK Metcalf. I really feel like Minnesota will hold us down for the most part, but I think there's going to be some huge explosive plays to be had, and I think this week the Pittsburgh Steelers make them. Now let's flip to the defensive side of the ball. Gingy, I really expect that front seven to finally have a good game, establish themselves as a unit they should be based off pay scale, and I think you're going to see constant pressure on Carson Wentz and a running game that's held in check for the Pittsburgh Steelers, by the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's what I want to see. That front seven needs to make their money, and that's going to let splash happen on the secondary, tipped balls, Carson Wentz thrown into double coverage. Something good's going to come out of that front seven dominating. Gingy, how'd you feel on defense?
Sack. Getting after Carson Wentz this week. That's what really slows him down. Pass rush gets home this week. With the return of the secondary, we're going to see a few more coverage sacks in there with JPJ being able to lock down. Looking forward to seeing some Blitzburg come back, Donkey, and don't be surprised if TJ Watt puts some more numbers on the board.
I'd like that. I would like that personally. I really would. All right, Gingy. I guess it's time. Anything you want to talk about going into this week's things before we get to our picks? Like, the Houston Texans are 0-3. Who'd have thunk it?
I don't know what's going on down there. Weren't they always just a big stew of dysfunction? Is that coming back down there or what? I don't know what's going on. Is CJ Stroud undeveloping?
And traded away half of their good offensive line so that their quarterback would get murdered.
Okay,
is the best way to put it.
we know how that goes. That's unfortunate. But who would have thought that the Colts were going to be the immediate juggernaut from the AFC South?
Danny Dimes trying to get your MVP vote in the first quarter of the season.
Danny Dimes trying to break records down there. He's on pace to score like 516 points or something this season. Sir, it's better than Peyton Manning.
We should have, when we joked about signing him, we should have apparently not joked about it. We should have been serious. Not that I think he would succeed here, but that's
would not succeed in the Arthur Smith system.
But yeah, Gingy, just want to get some quick thoughts on your schedule before we get the picks here. We have an 0-3 Titans versus an 0-3 Houston team. Someone's getting off the snide there. We got a 3-0 Philly going to a 3-0 Tampa Bay. Kind of fun stuff there. It's just the teams you would not expect to be 3-0. Indianapolis. The teams you wouldn't expect to be 0-3. It's kind of fun to see. We got the Green Bay revenge game. Either way you want to say it. Kenny Clark's talking about his revenge, but no one cares about that. They care about Micah Parsons going back to Big D, right?
Yeah, that'll be an interesting game.
Jets and the Dolphins at 0-3. Gingy, that Miami team has gotten progressively worse rather than better since they paid Tua. Are you surprised?
I don't know, Donkey. I'm struggling to care.
You always have to care. It's football, and it's AFC
I know,
football.
but it's the Dolphins and the Jets. The Dolphins are a disappointment, right? I don't know how that offense goes from one way to another. They started doing fire sales down there.
They let all their offensive linemen go because no one seems.
How's Minka doing down there?
I honestly don't know. I don't think he's done anything because I don't think that defense has done anything.
Didn't hear about nothing going on down
there.
But
dude, I was told how great he was and how much we would miss him.
One thing I was a little bit disappointed to see, Najee Harris had a pretty devastating injury.
Yeah, Achilles injury, out for the season. James Conner, another former Steelers running back, got hurt for Arizona, out for the season.
Yeah. Very unfortunate.
James Daniels, also Steelers' former offensive guard. I think he tore his pec. He's out for the season, I believe.
Oh, that James Conner injury really hurts my fantasy team, Donkey. Anybody out there have any suggestions for a new Flex 1? Put them in the comments.
James Conner, that running back who's always so good, just never healthy, man. That poor dude's gone through so much, from cancer in college to just never. He was never not productive. He just, availability wasn't there, man. If I could mix James Conner's talent with frickin' Najee Harris prior to this year's availability, you got a hell of a running back.
Right.
All right, let's get to
those
some
were
picks.
Some notable things. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, for sure. I forgot. I meant to mention both of them, and I completely forgot. So thanks for bringing that up. We got the 1-2 Browns going to the 2-1 Lions. Laskers likes the Lions. I like the Lions. Is it a pride roar from you, Gingy?
I mean, I don't know. I said
you up to roar and you didn't roar. So if you pick the Lions now, I'm gonna be pissed.
No, because I was thinking about last week. I can't remember if I made a comment. I'd have to listen to the tape about the Browns last week and picking against them. Really interesting if they took down the NFC North single-handedly. But give me the Lions. Roar.
The fact that you didn't pride roar right when you had the chance, I'm a little offended right now. Okay, we got Ravens Patriots, or not Ravens Patriots. Ravens Chiefs. I don't know why I said Patriots. I was looking at the wrong game. We got, Sunday midday football. 1 and 2 teams that are Super Bowl favorites. One of them going to be in a bad spot to start. Gingy, which one's going to be in the bad spot?
It's going to be Kansas City's going to be in the bad spot. Give me the Ravens.
Laskers likes the Chiefs over the Ravens. I'm so split on this, but I do think the Ravens win this game, and I don't know why.
Run game versus run D. That's the matchup.
The
This
Chiefs are getting
Kansas
some
City
weapons
soft
back,
them.
so maybe we'll see something there. We got the Broncos, who suffered a heartbreaking loss either last week or 2 weeks ago, where the guy missed the field goal, but they got called for a questionable leverage. I mean, yeah, it was, but yeah, you don't call that shit. So hard loss for them. You got the 2-1 Bengals with the backup quarterback going to the Mile High City. Who'd you like in this one, Gingy? I'm feeling the Broncos.
As am I. Give me Denver.
And Lasker's also on the Broncos train out there, so there's some galloping ponies going on.
Hey, Cincinnati's got something to prove. All right, once they got 48 dropped on them last week or something.
Dude, they
gotta
48
let 'em
dropped
know.
on them every week
Who
last
dey?
year.
Who dey?
Dude, who they don't play no defense.
Who dey?
They didn't do it last year. They sure as hell ain't gonna do it this year. Then we got the game that matters. We got the Steelers hold and serve in Ireland, trying to hold off the invading Vikings. Laskers likes the Steelers 25-21 with Boswell, since everyone's tired, but Boswell good. Gingy, how are you feeling?
Give me the Steelers in a close, slow Tomlin win, 23-17.
I like the Vikings at 17. I like the Steelers at 18. So
really, even slower and closer than even
a
more Tomlin game than what I predicted. Who's
your X factor for the game, Gingy?
It's going to be T.J. Watt with double-digit sacks and one first turnover. I know I'm sounding like a broken record on this, but one of these times he's going to be a $41 million player and not a $28 million player.
I like the X factor to be Derek Harmon. I do think it's going to be a defensive thing. I think he is going to be the one that you're going to see the substantial notice of the difference in the run game. I think he's going to be wreaking havoc back there with Cam all day. And I feel there might be a turnover that's caused by the young rookie. Crucial part of the game, a team driving, Steelers fans having a heart attack going, oh, shit again. And Derek Harmon, you know, he says, hey, the future's bright. That's what I'm feeling, Gingy. Mm-hmm. Guess that means it's time to move on to shout-outs. Gingy, a win. Who you got?
Give me a shout-out for Derek Harmon. My goodness, we've gone through some first-rounders the last couple years that are works in progress, okay? But that is a work in motion right now. Seeing him in the backfield, seeing him disrupting, getting a sack. You know how I felt about when Sawyer got one. So everyone probably saw Harmon coming this week. Shout out, young man Harmon. Let's go.
That's where I was thinking, but since you took it, hey, Jabril Peppers, welcome to Pittsburgh. Thank you for the forced fumble against your old team. I much appreciate that. But the real shout-out's going to be Paul Skeens for the Pittsburgh Pirates, finishing the season with a sub-2 ERA. And I think he only had a 10-10 record. Like, that crap's nuts. But that dude, even if you're not a huge baseball fan, if you just have interest in it, just tune in once every 5 days to the Pirates to watch Paul Skeens, because that way that guy pitches is just fun to watch. He had a great season. I enjoyed watching him all year round. So got to give a shout out there, and a partial shout out to end it as well, because guy who's been pitching for like 17 years, Charlie Morton, is going to make his final start of his career Sunday against the Pittsburgh Pirates, a team where he spent 7 years, for the Atlanta Braves. They're going to let him go an inning or two. Great career for the ground chuck. I can't believe that dude's still pitching, man. I actually remember going to watch him pitch for the Pirates before I left Pennsylvania some 15 years ago. So, yeah, that's nuts that dude's still around and pitching. So, good on him. Now it's time to let you know I'm the Viking Donkey. That's Viking _Donkey on Twitch and Twitter. Don't get it twisted. Just because there's a Viking in my name does not mean I want to see purple win this game. The Daily Dose of Donkey Ginger is the awesome YouTube channel where you get the sweet content. Gingy's always here bringing it, letting you know, keeping it even, keeping it mild-tempered. Wait till we have a loss. Shit hits the fan and it gets fun. Gingy, let them know.
Mutant Gingy in the house, 2-1. That keeps Gingy happy and balanced. We're going to Ireland. All right, folks. Get your Guinness, get your snacks, Everybody, here we go, Steelers. Wave them if you got them.